In 1918, World War I was raging on, and reports from the battlefield came in that a strong respiratory illness was taking out soldiers. The Spanish flu infected 1 in every 4 people on the planet within the next year, killing at least 50 million people. But just like in 2020, officials in the U.S. and, yes, Portland back then were kind of slow to react. Northwest historian and podcaster Doug Kenck-Crispin has been studying the response.
It's very similar to a lot of things that you might have heard of from Portland Mayor George Baker, who was the mayor of Portland during the time of the influenza of 1918. He didn't really want to shut Portland down. And he was told to by the U.S. Surgeon General and public health officials. He was told, no, you need to close this place up. And he said, what about the economic impact that's going to have on this city?
Eventually, there were mandates to get the heck away from each other without the trendy hashtag of social distancing. Look at old headlines from the Beaverton Times in 1918, where it wrote of many things shut down and closed.
And it's really kind of a loose close. Stores were open until 3:30 p.m. People were still taking mass transit and so on. But the schools were out. You couldn't go to church. You couldn't have large public gatherings and that sort of thing. So that went on for 6 weeks.
People became more paranoid. Cartoons like this one from the East Oregonian showed a baby tipping over a pepper mill and everyone sneezing, calling the doctor, thinking they've all got it. The similarities are seriously weird. People across the country and these Red Cross nurses in Boston sewed face masks out of cloth. In New York, mail carriers wore them. The Spanish flu would make you cough up blood, filling lungs till they quite literally drowned. Babies and young people got it just as bad. Soon, hospitals became overwhelmed, and just like we're seeing today, makeshift wards sprang up in warehouses, auditoriums, and fields. Benson High School in Northeast Portland was a cadet training facility, and it's where the outbreak here in the Rose City started. Oregon movie theaters, though, stayed open, but slates before the films read "Smother the sneeze to prevent disease." Soldiers and sailors were banned as they were early carriers of this flu. And God forbid you sneeze or cough for any reason, the old-timey cane would come out and you were 86th.
November 11th, 1918, the war ended. The closure at that point had been about 6 weeks long, and Mayor Baker wanted to allow Portlanders to have a huge festive party and to kind of get life back to normal, right? And so he allowed the closure to end just 5 days later. And so what happened is all of these people that had been pent up and all these people that have had their lives modified rushed out into the streets.
A few weeks later, and flu cases and deaths started spiking again before they could get it under control. It is a century-old lesson. We cannot rush back to normalcy.